What is up guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Dr. Hammerstein and today is my final review here of the Honor Magic 6 Pro. So normally I like to make this video into 4 main segments over here just to give you guys an overview of how the specs of this phone translate to your everyday usage. So yes, without further ado, let's just get right into it. Okay, so here is the Magic 6 Pro, and this is of course the successor to the Magic 5 Pro, which I did review last year. And I love that phone a lot, and I was really excited to check out the 6 Pro because they have made some changes and some small minute kind of details here to make it a more enjoyable experience. So in the first segment here that I want to talk about is of course the holding experience. So this one will cover the build, design, material, and basically how the phone would feel in your hand. And what I can say about this is that I love this design over here. Yes, I do know that they have a matte black as well, but I feel that with this green over here, it gives you a very subtle but yet a premium approach to it. And of course, if you guys do not like to use your phone case with this phone, that isn't much of an issue because they do have a nice eco leather touch over here, so you're not going to get a lot of fingerprints on the back over here, which I really do like. And also they do have nice grips on the sides. You have the curve on the sides here as well, and also the display does have a subtle curve on the front display here, so it's not too aggressive, but it still gives you that kind of a premium feel with your phones. Some people I know do like a curved display to give it more of a futuristic look. I know some people don't really like it and prefer a flat display, but I would say that with this subtle flat display over here, the subtle curve here, it still is not too bad. Swiping through your social media from the left and right isn't much of an issue. And one more thing I do want to highlight here is of course the camera bump that we have on the back. Yes, it is a huge triple camera setup over here on the back, and also you have your huge camera bump, but I really do like it because a lot of times when you're using your phone, you just need some support for your phone and for your finger, and that is where it can rest on your hand as well. So it's really nice because it gives me a little bit more support when I'm using my phone scrolling through social media. And also one more thing that I want to highlight here is of course, yes, the buttons are really nice to reach and grab, and also the fingerprint unlock here. I thought it was a little bit too low for my initial review, but I do like it over here. It's actually very comfortable to reach, and it's on the bottom screen here. It's something again I really do like. And also one more thing to note is that this phone, it is a little bit heavier compared to many other phones. Yes, it is of course a flagship phone, so it will feel more sturdy and does give it a bit more weight to it. But I do like that with the triple camera setup here, it is of course down the center, so you're going to give you a more symmetrical and a more balance when you're putting it on your flat table. So with that being said, the holding experience I would give on this is a solid 8 out of 10. Alright, so going on to the next segment of here, we're going to talk about is the viewing experience. So this will cover the display, the speakers, and also the haptics on this phone. And what I can say about the display here, again, if you have used the Magic 5 Pro or got a glimpse of it, it's actually very similar. You have your LTPO panel, 120Hz, all that good stuff with your normal flagship phone in 2024. So the display here is really nice, but one of the major key differences that they have done here compared to the Magic 5 Pro is of course the camera cutout on the center here. In the Magic 5 Pro, it was located at the side, and I was mentioning in my final review as well that I didn't really quite like the camera layout on the side because it feels very weird. It doesn't feel symmetrical, and then sometimes when you're watching shows, it kind of blocks out. But over here, they kind of follow with a similar pattern here with a familiar brand to give you a kind of a Honor Island. I call this the Honor Island over here, and it's very minimal, and of course you have a lot of functions with it here as well. I do like when you're answering calls or going through your YouTube or your music over here, you have a small control panel over here on the top, which is really nice to, if you guys want to pause your shows, if you guys want to play back or whatsoever. I really like the subtle approach that we have over here. Other than that, yes, the display, like I mentioned, is really nice. You get a large display over here to enjoy your content, colors, and all that good stuff here is coming in really nice on the Magic 6 Pro. One more thing I want to highlight here is of course the speakers on this phone. So yes, we have a nice stereo speaker setup, but for me it isn't as loud as I want it to be. Sometimes when I'm in a crowded place with a little bit more background noise, it doesn't kind of go through compared to my other flagship phones that I've had in my hand. So the speakers here are still really good, but I did wish that they've given us a little bit louder and more volume when it comes to the speakers here. And of course, the third thing I want to talk about here is the haptics on this phone. The haptics, for me, to be honest, feels a little bit cheap. They have a very heavy feel when you're playing your games or when you're going to press some key buttons over here. It doesn't give you that very subtle premium approach when it comes to the haptics here. I couldn't find where I could actually change the intensity of the haptics. If you guys know it, let me know in the comments down below, but that is what I experienced with this phone. A lot of times I just had to turn off the haptics on this phone because it just feels a little bit too heavy for my liking, but that's just me. And of course, with that being all said, the viewing experience I would give on this is a solid again, 8 out of 10. So next thing here, which is something I do really want to talk about just a little bit more, is of course the user experience. So this would cover the internal hardware and also the software side of things. So in this phone, we have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, we have 12 gigs of RAM, 512 gigs of storage, and also 5600 milliamps of battery, and it supports up to 80 watts of fast charging here, the Honor Supercharge. And it also does support your wireless charging and all that good stuff. And what I can say about using this phone for the past 2 weeks as my daily driver is that I really love using this phone. The performance on this is really good. And of course, I didn't notice a lot of stutters, a lot of lags. Yes, there are some bugs here and there when you're opening up certain apps, but overall, the performance on this has been really good. Of course, you expect this from a flagship phone, and of course the performance here works really fast, very smooth here as well. The battery on this is amazing. You do get a full day of usage here, and of course you don't have to worry about the battery draining too much. To be honest, I barely even kind of just charge it once a day at the end of the day here. And of course you can charge it really fast. The 80 watts which is on this phone here, which does support here, is really nice. They do give you a 100 watt out of the box, like in most regions here, but the 80 watt works really fast. And what I like about this is that previously with most of the Honor and Huawei phones, if you're using a normal fast charger, it doesn't really detect it as supercharged. But over here, I really do like it that they still do detect fast charging as fast charging. Of course, you may not get the Honor Supercharge, but you still get very fast charging, which is something I really do like because I can't be carrying my charger brick all around with me, and this is something that I really do like with the Magic 6 Pro. Other than that, I really do like the AI features that we have here as well. I will talk about the software things like the navigation dock, the side panel here, which I really do like. But of course, they have introduced some AI features with this phone here as well, which I really do enjoy. For instance, you can go to your gallery app over here, and if you want to click some images and you want to share it to some of your friends on certain apps, you don't have to click the share button, find the app and do whatsoever. All you need to do is just go to the gallery app, click and hold that picture, and then you can send it to whichever app that you want to, which I really do like because they have introduced this kind of cool feature because the software on this has been really good and smooth here as well. And I do like the notification panel. On one side, you can swipe down to go to your control center, and the other side, you can go to your notification center here as well. So this is a really cool feature, and of course, I do like it because you can use one hand to do complete all your tasks on this phone. And just everyday to usage, I really do like the software side of things here. And yeah, you have good hardware here to complement that as well. So for this, the user experience I would give on the Magic 6 Pro is a solid 8.5 out of 10. Last but not least, let's talk about the cameras on this phone. So starting with the selfie shooter here, it's really not that bad after all. I do like that you get sharp images, you want to get very good colors, natural colors here as well. But with most China phones, I do notice that they kind of give you a more beauty mode with your selfie shots, with your portrait shots. Even though if you turn it down all the way to 0, you still notice that your skin is going to be a little bit more smoothened and your face will be looking a bit more thinner. And when it comes to taking portrait shots, of course, this is not for me, but I know that a lot of people that actually like this feature when you're taking selfies, so it really depends on your preference over here. Going on to the rear cameras over here, the only major differences I can see from this compared to the Magic 5 Pro is of course the telephoto lens. So the telephoto lens 2.5 times does go up to 180 megapixel. You will notice that more when you are taking your portrait shots, which does give you a very very sharp image over here. Of course, if you're using it in your 1 times or your 5 times, you might not get it so much, but when you're using it at 2.5 times, it's actually really good. I did wish that they could have actually used the 180 megapixel a little bit more, especially when you're zooming in at 10 times and 20 or 30 times. They will give you a little bit sharper images with the 180 megapixel. But you don't really get that, and I was using this during my Taylor Swift concert. A lot of times when I try to zoom in from very far, I get a lot of just pixels all around and it gets all really messed up. So I did wish that with the 180 megapixel, it's such a big lens over here. I did wish that if you use a little bit more with this. Other than that, what I noticed when I was taking photos with this is that yes, okay, dynamic range is really good, colors are really nice and sharp here as well. But I do notice that the dynamic range is a little bit darker on the shadows overall. This could be just due to the software side of things. I hope that in the future updates they will kind of improve that, because the images that comes here come out really dramatic. But I did wish that it come out a little bit brighter, a bit more saturated, a little bit more contrasty with my main lens over here. Other than that, I would say that the cameras here are very safe to recommend to a lot of people. You won't be disappointed with this. Video taking here on it as well is very nice and stable, and I really do like the camera setup that we have over here. So for the camera experience on this, I will give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. So that is it, and that is my final review of the Magic 6 Pro. Of course, these are just my thoughts and my opinions. And what I can say about this phone is, for the price point, for about 4,000 ringgit, I will put the final price over here so you guys can have a look. I think it's a very solid phone. Of course, you can be comparing this not to the S24 Ultras, but to the phones like the S24 or the 24 Plus, the iPhone 15 and whatsoever. And I think this phone here does stand on its own very well. You get a very good set of cameras, the software on this is amazing, and of course you get a very good display and speakers here as well. So overall, it's a complete package with the Magic 6 Pro, and this is what I think about it. Because again, like I mentioned, these are just my thoughts and my opinions. Let me know in the comment section down below, or if you guys have any questions about this phone, let me know in the comment section down below and I will check it out. If you guys enjoyed this video, do click the like and smash the subscribe button down below for more videos like this in the future. Do also follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and here on YouTube at Dr. Hammerstag, and I'll see you guys in the next one.